This video is continuation to our earlier video on grammar and usage relative classes, in which we saw the usage of that in combining two independent sentences. By combining the two independent sentences, by using that we make it as a one sentence. Today let us see how we use the word whose, the conjunction whose, in relative classes. See the example here. The man came yesterday. The man's book is here. When we want to combine these two sentences by using whose, the man whose book is here came yesterday. Jose met the girl. The girl's father visited our class. Jose met the girl whose father visited our class. Monica wrote to the boy. The boy's father works in a bank. Monica wrote to the boy whose father works in a bank. Monica wrote to the boy whose father works in a bank. The teacher bought a new car. We visited the teacher's home. The teacher whose home we visited bought a new car. The teacher whose home we visited bought a new car. John helped the teacher. We visited the teacher's home. John helped the teacher whose home we visited. So, in this video we are seeing the use of whose as a conjunction to make a relative class, and whose is also used in interrogatives, that we will see in whose book is this, whose house is that, like that. That we will see later in some other video. I will give you some more examples of similar type. I know the student. The student's father is the mayor. I know the student whose father is the mayor. We visited the man. The man's house is on Gandhi Street. We visited the man whose house is on Gandhi Street. The man is our friend. The man's house is on Nehru Street. The man whose house is on Nehru Street is my friend. I played tennis with the boy. We rode in the boy's car yesterday. I played tennis with the boy in whose car we rode yesterday. The teacher spoke with the student. The student's test grade was poor. The teacher spoke with the student whose test grades are poor. The teacher only teaches in the morning. The teacher's tests are extremely difficult. The teacher whose tests are extremely difficult teaches in the morning. John knows the girl. Her father always says hello to us. John knows the girl whose father always says hello to us. The girl is always late to class. Her mother was on television last night. The girl whose mother was on television last night comes always late to the class. The student studies every night. We would like to borrow his notes. The student whose notes we like to borrow studies every night. The player was excellent in last night's game. His uniform is almost always dirty. The player whose uniform is almost always dirty was excellent in last night's game. Bob likes the new girl. Her father owns several stores. Bob likes the new girl whose father owns several stores. So, let us see some more examples of using whose plus noun. Stevenson is an architect whose designs have won international prize. Dr. Raman whose secretary resigned 2 weeks ago, has had to all his own typing, has to do his own typing. The film was made in Botswana, whose wildlife parks are larger than those in Kenya. We need to learn from companies whose trading is more healthy than our own. The newspaper is owned by the Hindu group, whose chairman is, ex-chairman was Sri Kasturi Rangan. I received a letter whose poor spelling made me think it was written by a child. Then, what's the name of the man whose car you borrowed? A few days ago, I met someone whose brother and I went to school. I met a man whose sister knows you. So, whose is a relative possessive word also, used as a determiner before nouns. So, whose plus nouns are quite common in our usage. I saw a girl whose beauty took my breath away. It was a meeting whose purpose I didn't understand. Michael Cross, with whose help Wimper climbed the Matterhorn, was one of the first professional guides. I went to see my friends in the forests, whose children I used to look after when they were small. So, whose can be used in both definite as well as indefinite these classes, that is determining and non-determining classes. So, let us see some more example, that is the defining or non-defining relative classes. In both we can use whose. The use of classes and the different types of classes we will see in some other video. Today just see the video and learn the use of whose.